So main dream is just to follow Christ wherever he leads us together.
Amen.
But I have always wanted to live in a van. Hannah does not.
Okay, that's not true. I would do anything with you. First met at his church that he was going to when he was 16 and I was 17. I just had this incentive that I wanted to ask him a question. I don't know why him, but I was like, hey, and he wasn't paying attention, so I just kept trying to get his attention, and he turned around and asked him some dumb question about a game, and they just turned right back around, so I was like, okay, well.
I was leading a game that night, so I might have just been nervous. I remember thinking Hannah was very cute.
The next night, the girl that invited me texted me a picture of him and said, this is Noah Cunningham, and it was a picture of him and Ollie, his puppy, as a baby. It was really cute. And she was like, can he have your number? And I was like, texted her, I was like, does he love Jesus? And she was like, yes. And so I was like, yes, give him my number right now.
And then we went to a softball game.
And talked and talked and talked. I thought my Jeep was real cool, which I still do, but I was like, have you ever ridden in a stick shift? And I had the top down, and I was like, okay, well, I'll take you for a ride. I took him for a ride, and when I was backing out of the parking lot, I almost hit somebody.
Twice.
And I think I scared him, but it's okay.
There's a lot of highlights in our relationship within like the first 3 months. Right in the beginning was like the key factors of understanding, okay, she's really different. I remember pulling out of actually our first date out of a neighborhood, and she said, no, I just want to make sure we're keeping God first in our relationship. And I was like, okay, yeah, totally.
After we like first met and started getting to know each other, I just knew that he was different. The first time he met my dad, they met and he was like, so I heard you're a pastor, like, how's your ministry going? And like, I'm in there listening to this and I'm like, this is totally different. He's not just coming in and meeting my parents because he has to. Like, he wants to invest in them and he wants to invest in me. Once Noah and I got to know each other, and I saw that he was different, and he's a godly man. He loves me, he loves the Lord, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. And I knew that from like the very beginning.
I'd always had like the goo love with other people, and then like met Hannah, and it was just like a different kind of love. It was also like a perfect picture of like, if I love this girl so much, I can't imagine how much Jesus loves me. Experiencing like the actual feeling of a deep love really set the stage for me to want to marry her. It was kind of just like okay, I have peace, let's do it. And so went, got the ring, had the ring for like a week. I hid it in a little attic space and I kept pulling it out because I was like, it's so shiny.
The day of our engagement, the day before, he'd asked me to go on a coffee date that morning in our neighborhood, and it was during COVID, so I was like, okay, he wants to go on a coffee date in our neighborhood to be safe. Go downstairs, and he gets there, and I was like, oh, hey, like, you want some coffee, for our coffee date? And he was like, no, I'm not gonna drink coffee. And I was like, oh, okay, not drinking coffee for the coffee date. And so I was like,
very nervous.
Would you want anything? And he was like, I'll just have some water in a mug. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, water in a mug, that's
I just
weird.
wanted to feel like it was still a coffee date, so I wanted to put it in a mug.
The gazebo is where we started dating, and he'd put all these flowers, and he's done stuff like this before because he's sweet. And so I was like, I wasn't thinking he was gonna ask me to marry him. And so we get in the gazebo, and we've been reading through this chronological Bible, and it just didn't seem like he was really into the conversation. I was like, you're not gonna ask me to marry you, are you? And he was like, no. I was like, okay. Then after, we read and prayed and we're talking, he was like, actually, I lied. And so then he was like, can you stand up? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting really weird. And so I stood up, he got down, and he pulled it out, and he had these little tears in his eyes, and he was like, will you marry me? And I was like, what? I mean, I had no idea. And I was like, this is a total surprise. I had no idea. What does Noah mean to you, Hannah? Okay. I'm crying. Noah means, okay, you're the love of my life. That's what you are.
Hannah means, to me, she's my best friend. She's my biggest priority on this earth that God has instilled to me.